All right, so we're at episode 13. As we do these, I start getting ideas of other records that I haven't heard in a long time, and I'm like, my God, nobody ever talks about these albums. And then I get people in the comments saying, this album had this many hits, it's not overlooked. If I'm saying it's overlooked, it means I think it should have been a lot bigger than it was. I'm not going by your standard of what you think it is. It's supposed to be just something fun for you to look at albums that I thoroughly love and give them a listen. My taste is really eclectic, so I like everything. Today is no different. Today we have Keith. Keith Richards in 1988 released this album, Talk Is Cheap. When it came out, I remember when it came out, and I got it. And I went to New York City that weekend and listened to that album the whole time in New York City. It makes me feel of New York City. It's got such a cool vibe. I even bought that ring. I don't know where it is right now, but I have the Keith ring that I bought in New York City that weekend. And let's go look at the songs and the players and see what we got. Song number 1 is called Big Enough. This song is what happens when you take Keith Richards and you say, I wonder what he would sound like in Funkadelic. You got Bernie Worrell on keyboards. You got Bootsy on bass. You have Maceo. It is funky. It is still very Stones-ish in the way of, you know, when you hear songs like Dance Part 1 off Emotional Rescue. It's definitely got a groove. It's a great track. Song 2 is called Take It So Hard. And I think some of these songs you can hear there's somewhat a pointed message to Mick in some of these songs. And Take It So Hard comes across as that for me as well. One of the big hits on the record, great song. Not one of my favorites on the album, but definitely one of the hits. Song 3 takes us right back into Stonesville with a song called Struggle. Just a great feel, classic Stones sound, classic Stones everything, and classic Keith. It's great. Really, really good song. Song 4 in this album is I Could Have Stood You Up. This song is really like if you took Keith in 1988 and you put him in front of the Jordanaires and Elvis's band, this is the kind of sound you would have. It's really cool. On guitar on this song, we do have Mick Taylor, previously from the Stones. He's the only Stones musician that plays on this record. And it's another fun song. Not really my favorite style of music, this type of 50s bop, bop type of thing. But it's still a fun song. Song 5 is a song called Make No Mistake. Now, Make No Mistake is one of my favorite songs on this album. I do a lesson on it. You can look in my playlist of videos to see that. And Sarah Dash from the band LaBelle is a singing duet on this. I love Sarah Dash. She also sang with Laura Nyro on that album, Gonna Take a Miracle, that I love, with the whole band, LaBelle. Yeah, overall, this is one of my favorites on this album. The next song is a song called You Don't Move Me, and I think it's another one that's pointed at Mick. Keith was, I think, a little bit bothered by the pop route that Mick wanted to go in the 80s, probably with the album Dirty Work and Undercover, which are probably two of my least favorite Stones albums ever. But this was his fight back to bringing back the Stones. And I think from this album on, after this, the Stones really got right back on track. If Make No Mistake isn't my favorite song, though, on the album, Song 7, How I Wish, is. This song's great. This song really has a vibe to me of Hands of Fate from the Black and Blue album, but it might be a little funner and a little lighter. And I just love the groove in it. Everything about it it's just a great Keith Richards song. And I think it's my favorite on the album. The next song, Rock a While, is a song that has like a haunting slow groove. It actually may fit better on Keith's album that follows this. main offender, but I really like the song. It's very cool. It's a great song, but it's definitely more solo Keith than Stones. Whereas the next song after that, Whip It Up, is basically right back to those grooving songs. It reminds me of like the songs on Some Girls, like Respectable, When the Whip Comes Down. It kind of has that kind of a feel. Overall, I really like every song in this album a lot. When I say something's not as strong as the other or it's weaker, it's still great. Song 10, Locked Away. Great song. Has this acoustic going through it. It's got a nice slow feel. It's a nice song. It's definitely, again, more of a modern Keith song than a Stones feeling tune, but Keith really is the Stones. Who we kidding? I may have put this last on the album just because I think it's a great ender. But the song they end with is song 11, It Means a Lot, which kind of has like a band thing. It's got a groove. It's not my favorite. It's right up there with I Could Have Stood You Up. It's decent. I don't love it. And I just wish the album left on a higher note. But overall, this album's just great. And I think you're really going to like it. I'd like you to check it out. Tell me what you think of the album. Don't tell me, oh, this wasn't overlooked. Yeah, shut up. I don't care about what your opinion is of what is overlooked. If you want to do records that you think is overlooked, just do them. This is about records that I think deserve more adulation, if you will, than they're getting. Anyways, this album deserves some love. Give it a listen. Let me know what you think. I'll post the Spotify link. And as always, very good.